Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to design two custom abutments in EXOCAD. One for a single central and another for a single posterior crown. First select the crown. I choose anatomic crown and we select the material for the crown itself. Now select custom abutment. The custom abutment is going to be titanium. So here I'm going to select this side later because not only if, for instance, if you select yes to cut it automatically, you won't be able to undo that, at least as far as I know. If you realize that you need to do a cement retained instead of a screw retained, the system is going to cut out a hole anyways, and to undo that you basically need to do it all over again. Another reason also, if you want to create a bit of extra angulation on the screw access channel on the crown, you can further incline it a bit further back. Even if the screw hole is going to be straight, you can always bring it a bit back if you do it manually. I select Scan Body Scan. I reduce the minimal thickness of the crown and the gap width of cement 0.04. Select OK. Save the project and start designing. Now select the correct orientation, go next. You need to select a direct connection to the implant head. Make sure the scan body is aligning properly and go next. Here I'm just gonna do a quickly design of the crown itself. I just skip it forward because the important part in this video is to design the custom abutment. Here I decide to bring this margin up because this is going to be basically the bottom part of the implant, and usually on the advanced tab I like to bring it all the way down so you don't have like a double margin in that area. Here I just basically do a mirroring of the tooth of the other central and shape it more or less before starting the abutment, because the abutment is going to be based on the final design. Now this step is very important, is the insertion direction of the crown on the custom abutment. Usually I like to select it, I like to look from the top of the incisal edge of the crown, and I select set current view as insertion axis, but keep in mind that later on we might need to change it to accommodate the shape of the abutment. Basically you should select the long axis of the tooth. Now usually I like to start from the bottom, define the bottom part of the abutment and select and shape the margin of the custom abutment. You can add points by clicking Ctrl left click to add extra points to shape it better. And the idea here should be for the margin to be at least 1 mm below the soft tissue, the emergence of the crown. Now if you press Ctrl, you can move them all together down or up. So keep this in mind when you want to drag the margin down or up. You can also do to make it wider or narrower. So this part is very important because the ideal shape of the abutment should be like this, coming out thin from the implant and then opening up when going towards the crown. So you need to play around a bit. Now we move forward for the top part of the abutment. I like to select from the top ring, the front point, and bring it all the way down like this to create immediately more or less the shape of an anterior tooth. Bring the sides out and use Ctrl to bring the bottom ring all the way down to create a nice shoulder for the crown to sit on. At this stage you need to do just roughly the shape of the tooth, and as you can see here the insertion axis that I selected was too far back, so we're gonna need to change it so the body of the abutment comes forward to be more in line with the shape of the crown. So for that I go to expert mode, I select the abutment and select secondary insertion direction. Now for it to come forward a bit more I need to move it like this and bring it a bit more forward. Now if you go back to abutment design, you see that now is much more in line with the current design. So I do the rough shape at this stage, and then on the freeforming stage we can do the final touches to be much smoother and much better. Now at the freeforming stage we can remove the harsh transitions from the abutment and smooth out all the hard line angles and shape it better to look more like a beautiful custom abutment. So you can use all the typical tools of a freeforming, so you can pull some areas, smooth others, and stretch and move around the body of the abutment. This is very important. Usually I like to look from the top of the custom abutment to make sure I don't have any undercuts, although the system it's gonna remove them anyways based on the secondary insertion that you selected previously. Now you also have to keep in mind that when you look from the top of a custom abutment, you need to be able to see the margin all around to make sure that the top part is narrower than the bottom part. For those who design custom abutments in EXOCAD, it's very important to save the top parts of your design of the abutment, and I'm going to show you why in a second. So to do that, you select Hide All and go to the Abutments tab, click the arrow to show all the components of it, and select Abutment Top. Now you go to the Save button, right click on it and click Export Scene to Mesh. I'm gonna name it Top Abutment. Save visible objects, select yes, and select use original coordinate system of scan data. Now, whenever you select OK or you go out of the freeforming stage, the software is gonna eliminate any undercuts in reference of the path of insertion that we selected previously. You kinda can tell that he built out a bit on the palatal, but nothing special because the abutment top part is in line with the insertion direction. Now it can be a bad thing if you select, for example, imagine that the abutment was like this. The system is gonna detect there is a huge undercut on the palatal, and once you go OK, it's gonna trim it and it's gonna eliminate the undercuts and it's gonna trim the abutment, probably where you didn't want it to trim out. Imagine by mistake you didn't design it properly, the top part. At least you saved your design before clicking OK on the freeforming, so you can bring it back again. So basically in expert mode, you go to Tools, Add Remove Mesh. If you have any pre-ops, you just basically need to remove them and bring up the top part of the abutment that we just saved. And you select the upper option. Now usually I like to bring the top part more or less in line with the pre-op. We can now use the Adapt Abutment tool and adapt our deformed abutment to the previous design that we had done. Now this is very important to keep always a safe mesh of the good design of the abutment, because if you, for instance, decide to change the bottom part of the abutment and you come to abutment design, what's going to happen is that the system will basically delete all the freeforming that we did previously, and it's a pain because we just spent so much time on the freeforming stage to do an amazing abutment, and now it basically deletes it without warning you. So that's why I always keep a saved file, or if I intend to change the bottom part, I always need to export the mesh of the top part of the abutment. You change the bottom part, you click OK, and now our previous design is completely gone. So that's why I always save it before doing any changes to the abutment. Adapt it again. And now, for example, imagine that you had your insertion direction placed it wrong and you didn't notice until you were after the freeforming stage. And by then the system is just going to do a hard cut on your custom abutment and it's going to just fill in the undercut parts. And sometimes it's going to completely destroy the design that you did. So that's why it's so important to always export the mesh of the top part of the abutment, just in case anything goes wrong. So you have this very important option on the secondary insertion direction, which is this little box here that says show and update the design directly. You should tick it because this is going to give you a preview of how the insertion direction that you're going to choose is going to modify the top part of the abutment. Let's imagine that the top part of the custom abutment is a bit more forward than the buccal margin of the abutment, and as you can see from this point of view I cannot see the margin all around. So if for instance I select this point of view, you're gonna see that the software is just gonna cut the abutment from this perspective and make it flat all the way to the margin. So it basically destroyed our design, and if you were to select OK, it would be ruined. You would have to undo all this that you just done. So always make sure to select a view that accommodates a proper top shape of the abutment in regards to the anatomy of the crown and the position. Once the proper insertion direction is selected, just smooth out a bit of the design and proceed. And now once the abutment is designed, we move to the superstructure design, which is the crown. Now at this stage, you do the final touches on the crown. And once it's done, you can see that there is no screw channel access done on the crown, because remember that on the project I selected no decide later. To do a screw channel now, we go to freeform restorations and we go to the attachment tab. Now select subtract and select this option here. Open the little arrow and scroll all the way down, then scroll a bit up until you find the round bar. Usually I like to see the screw channel of the abutment as if I was looking it from the top, until you see just a thin line around the circle of the screw channel, and I place the attachment and click view, which means it's going to place the attachment from the viewpoint that I've selected. Now I'm going to increase the diameter to match the screw channel from the abutment. Select scale, and basically what I do is I click on top of the red circle and I drag it to one of the sides. So as you can see, it's matching exactly the screw access hole from the abutment. And if you want to tilt the screw channel a bit more, with this way you can always play around. But in this case I'm gonna leave it straight because there's no reason to angulate it further back. Remember to select allow any changes and click apply. Now the custom abutment and the crown are ready to be milled. And now I'm going to show you how to do on a posterior crown. I have the design already made of the crown, and now I'm going to select the secondary insertion direction. I always try to gauge more or less where is like the top part of the crown and select set from view. As we did on the central, the first thing is to do the bottom part of the abutment, bring up and out the margin. Also, here's a little trick. You can, when you press the mouse wheel somewhere on the mesh, it's going to be the reference point to rotate around that point. So imagine now it's rotating. If I place it here on the front, when I turn the camera around or the scan around, it's going to rotate around that point that I've selected, like this. If I want to rotate around the molar, I just press it there. It appears a small green dot, and now it's going to rotate around that point of axis. Now, as we did with the central, I just try to shape the bottom part to not only be 1 mm below the emergence of the crown, so below the gingiva 1 mm, but also to follow the shape of the crown that I've designed. I always try to do coming out thin from the implant and then opening up when going towards the crown, so there is no pressure on the bone and on the lower tissue. Now designing the top part of the abutment is all about shaping it. Press Ctrl to bring out all the points together and just playing around a bit. So as you can see here, I completed the abutment, but a bit of the shoulder in that corner of the abutment was removed because of the insertion axis. Go to the secondary insertion direction and reposition it. So it was like this. Basically, the tip of that top part of the abutment was hiding the margin, and that's why that happened. So you need to reorientate it in such a way that you can see the margin all around. So once it's properly placed, just select Set Current View as Insertion Axis and go OK. And now we need to go back to freeforming to gain a bit of space on the shoulder of the custom abutment. In this case, I'm going to take advantage of the fact that the system likes to cut undercuts. So basically what you need to do here is just bring this flat area and bring it inwards. You can bring it more, you see, it's a bit exaggerated, but I know that the system is going to basically replace that undercut with a flat surface, so like this. And then you just need to smooth out a bit and it's looking great. Now I'll do the final touches on the crown, and we're gonna do the screw channel just like we did with the single central. Now this is not the way that I usually design custom abutments. I have a much faster way to do them, which is the way that I usually do them, and I'm gonna show you here on this next video. Thank you for watching.